गुड मॉर्निंग, शुभ दिवाली आप सभी को। शुभ दिवाली, हैप्पी दिवाली एवरीबॉडी, गोवर्धन दिवाली, भैया दूज and all packages of festivals to my friends. This talk, as usual, is related to projects. As usual, I do, and as always, we think of projects for an engineer. Project is very, very important. As you know, I, with the friends, this is, I usually very serious about this issue of okay, let's talk about projects, projects and all this. Projects and engineers, civil engineers and projects, both are interrelated. Civil engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and other co-alliance engineers or allied engineers. I always make talks in a different way. Sometimes I publish screen share, and sometimes I publish direct talk. The screen share is a very important procedure as far as we can share documents of same format. Projects are very important from designs and prosecution viewpoint. If prosecution is done in compliance with all requirements, I think that's best way to define working on projects. It's not simply that we do site work. Site work is physically done. But when I say compliance requirements, this is though in English is different meaning, but it's total compliance I'm talking, just like total quality. Quality is relevant to system, but here compliance is much more than that. It's easy to say we have complied. It's really very easy to be compliant, but it should be clearly understood. Did we? Compliance doesn't mean a statement. It doesn't mean that. Sorry, just a minute, let me take some stretch on my leg. Cause just a minute, hold on please. So what I say, compliance doesn't mean statement. It means to do. It must be done. It must be done means it must be known first. And when it's known, you can do. First point is knowing it. And knowing is very, very important. And if we do not know, how can we do it? This is very preliminary consideration, preliminary question. If I don't know, what should I do? How can I do it as an engineer? I know that engineers are not very fond of going through all such documents. They just want to do something, right? Who is this here? Generally projects are done based on contracts. There is always contract for every project. Generally, rarely it is done without contract. Maybe in some exceptional situations, but generally contract is considered to be real infrastructural organization that delivers projects. And contracts is not an ordinary contract. I'm talking professional contract. It's not just employment contract, or it's not just supply contract, or it's not just a very small machine delivery contract. This contract is something else. Very something else. We talk this, it's very important to be understood. So my dear, when you want or I want to do project, it's my preliminary duty, it's my root duty, basic duty, first of all, to know about that. What project is all about. It's really green project or it's brown project, both. I should say they are dealing with new project or green project. You should act like a research person, research student. Of course, you have time, a couple of weeks before working on that contract, means even before demobilization of that project, if it's construction project. Construction projects means real project on the ground. Construction projects means you must have gone through all all contract documents. Contract documents means, let us say, what is contract document? It's not one document or two document or three document. Contract itself is main document. Contract itself is main and top document. You can say in precedence is number one. Then, contract document, contract form, you can say, and all conditions of contract or whatever means particular conditions, general conditions, and whatever conditions are there, they do form contract documents, and followed by all supporting communications, supporting instruments, or whatever supporting. Every page is considered part of contract. This is legality part. Means contract form, the contract price, and contracting schedules, whatever is there. A big book of contract in many volumes could be, and then contract conditions, which all do constitute parts of legal support to contract, legal management or organization, or legal command, or legal mandate of works to be done. And then comes specifications of all classes. Specifications means in top priority are project specifications, and then general specifications, and project specifications do weigh over general specifications. So we can say, and all details, standards, and whatever we follow, those are all important as far as this is concerned. This means whatever is included in that contract, it all has been agreed. You have no right to question on contract documents. Once contract has been awarded, before it is awarded, you have a right to question. In fact, you have a right to question before bid is submitted, not post bid is submitted, because submission of bid means, or submission of tender means, you as an organization of contracting company, you agree with that. You agree with what is contained, what is provided, what is included within documents, which were bid documents before, and now post bid they are going to be contract documents. This point should be made very clear. A differentiation or a comparison standards between two parts, bid and contract. Bid means offer by company that intends to construct this project and deliver, for which consideration is demanded, and that's price. Fixed price, probably lump sum fixed price, which is not alterable. That fixed price, once fixed, means it's fixed until complete delivery of the scope of work of contract. I am saying the scope of work because the scope of work or scope of contract is very important definition, very important demand on contract. Engineer that qualifies from university is that has very limited knowledge in contracts, particularly in our country. This limited knowledge actually is considered and must be considered in weakness within a professional, because if you think in couple of months you will learn it, I'm not sure. It's complete work. Its work means where responsibility, obligations, accountability, liability all do count in a combined way. Nothing can be separated. But people think we can manage and we shall handle it. That is called excessive overconfidence. Yes, it's a part of syllabus in some institutional educations, while in general it's not. For example, if we take our contract provisions, how to understand contract, forget drawing of contract. Understanding is also very important. Understanding of contract in relation to working organizations, and also in relation to what laws speak about. Problem of young engineers, or even some seniors too, I find that first of all, these professionals do not consider as it's their job until they are taught a lesson, or they fear problem during professional field activities. It's really unbecoming of professionals. Just like a doctor treats a patient and case includes crimes or others, and police case is recorded, referred to, similar way, construction contracts move in different way but on civil pattern. If I do not understand liabilities, obligations, my duties, and what aftermaths would be if I commit some error, these points must be very clearly understood and personally having been clarified before doing something. So contract related to projects is very complicated work. Understanding contract cannot leave to contracts manager and cannot leave to some advocate, because your responsibility. Guidance can be taken, but not responsibility transmission. You cannot say you share responsibility. No, nobody will share responsibility, because whatever work you do, even excavation you do, whatever activity you do on site, that is contained, that is included within contract. And contract means travel between two parties on same track. Here two parties, party one is employer or owner of project, or you may call it client or user, and other party is contractor that has been awarded contract or project construction, and that is very important part. Contractor is considered party 2, means that has been ordered a certain procedure to do that job for or in lieu of some consideration. That consideration is price. This price shall be paid to contractor when contractor completes this scope of contract descriptions or job. Once you do that, you have legal and contractual right to claim your price. And legal right of employer is that you as contractor deliver to employer what was demanded by and within contract documents. So contract documents here is not simply contract, but all documents pertinent contract, project contract. I am explaining in very simple terms and with slow speed so that you should understand this basic point. And if you fail to understand this basic point, it's your fault. It shall be your fault, because ultimately once you represent contractor or company of contractor, it's your job to deliver that project irrespective of your age or experience. It doesn't matter. Your age and your experience do not matter once you are given responsibility or you are given charge of some project. I'm not talking of design project because that is different. I'm talking exclusively on construction. Construction is, you can say in eyes, physically when you work, that's easy. Yes, it's seen easy, but do you think it's that easy? That's a point of valuable consideration. Construction is something forever. Forever. So when something is done forever, you must know how do you feel. Something you buy for a few years, you don't feel that much. For example, if you buy some equipment that can work for 3-4 years, you don't feel much. Something you buy for a few months, you don't feel much pleasure because you know it's very temporary. And similarly, you can do whatever for a couple of years and after that you have to dump it off. But construction is only an industry that consumes generally all other industries. It's such a giant industry, giant, you say, organization that eats up all others. It requires all others to support it in a way of ready-made materials as well as materials to be procured raw or in natural state and then use them for permanent inclusion. So you know it indirectly involves many other industries. That point should be kept in mind, that once you are doing something, it's output based from many other organizations, industries. This is very much analytical part of construction. It's not simply construction that you see, but behind that what's there, that's most important. When you do something, it should not be just quantification or quantity pertinent, or quantity is one part, while quantity that is required to be complied with, that's another part. Quantity and compliance to requirement. simultaneously. It's not to say I produce quantity today, tomorrow it will comply. That's not possible. That's not going to work. Quantity and quality should move together. It's mandatory, and it is and is mandatory, even if it's not written in some documents. You cannot say it's written, not written in documents, so why should worry quality? That's what engineering says. Engineer must understand this, that when say quantity and quality equal to delivery, status delivery. Only quantity, delivery is no engineering. Quality must be inbuilt in this material. Some people cannot understand this. They do not try to understand. They do not try to read documents. They do not try to understand them. But they, in the name of convention, do whatever they want to do. No, engineering doesn't move like this. Construction engineering does not move like this. Construction means what? Have you ever thought of struct and kan? You have to do everything according to what is structured in details, structured in designs, and structured in industry. All structures should be done in name of construction. It is co-movement of all activities, sequential or otherwise, to be affected with what I said in the beginning. You must have a couple of weeks to understand documents. It's not simply reading. It's not simply reading alone. It's apprehension. It's comprehension to have grip over documents. And if you are not able to do it thoroughly, no problem. At least do what is required in the start. And if you don't do that, you shall take the project in unknown direction, which is not acceptable by anyone. Well, I'm not going to be philosophical in this, to be very practical, to be very, functional. You should not waste your time. Even if you are new, you are young, if you understand contact documents, if you read them, I don't think that you'll find some problem to have a grip on them. Documents shall give every clarity on themselves. That's called documents. If documents don't speak for themselves, there's something wrong with documents. And to avoid that something wrong, we should know what happens during design of contact documents. It's not design alone, structural design or architectural design that I'm talking. I'm talking of design and drawings of documents. The set policy for that, the set requirement for that. How we work on documents, production. Because it's not learning, it's simply payment issue. It's one party pays to other and other party delivers. It's something altogether different. We must understand this. Oh. So what I say, first job after you are given an assignment of a project, maybe small project, doesn't matter, or big project. Projects are projects, big or small, because principle is same, requirement is same, compliance level is same, and you have to deliver. The delivery is more important. And if you miss something in contract, do it again, read it again. Don't worry about time, because maybe a lot of time, 1 year, 2 year, but sequence wise, once you read, twice you read, thrice you read, don't worry. And then read when you where there's a problem, open that. Read contract contents, all contracts. I'm not talking of only general or particular. Read contract schedules, contract requirements, what's priority, what's not priority, and how we understand taking ourselves these documents, proceedings. This must be very, very clear. Once you start doing that, I'm sure in a couple of weeks you shall become knowledgeable. You shall be more knowledgeable than all those who drive those documents. Specifiers and document writers, all are engineers. It's beauty of construction, bidding documents, that you did not deal with that in your university, but you have to deal with that here on real world. Based on my long experience, I can say you cannot find something else somewhere what you find in construction profession as contractor's agent or as engineer's agent, whatever. For me, both are same. Contracting party and engineers consultants, I think both are of same level and responsibility sharers. They are complementary in work for each other. If you say working relations are smooth, they are they are they work for each other, practically speaking, but for project ultimately. So you have not to keep in mind that I am contracting party and that is employer's party or engineers. Goal or destiny and focus of both is same in all considerations, all criteria like quality, time, cost, and all other resources. If you understand this point, compliance of quality, compliance of requirements, and compliance of all points included on schedule, that means you get all probable requirements before doing something. And if you do not know that, then you have to study how to find. Maybe based on your experience, you may be having generally all items known to you with certain changes, expected changes, of course, sometimes. But that doesn't weigh much. Question remains you have to start with. That's the point here. You have to start with, and how to start, how to do that. That's the main point. Always little start gives a run to move further. And once you start successfully, certainly you get experience to move further, background to move further, and of course, it's not easy to forget when you are too young and should not forget. Every document, every page of every document should be given value. Maybe it doesn't carry or doesn't have on it printed very important article or specification. Even then, something must be there. We cannot say that we can avoid this. Some description of technicalities are there, or otherwise. Every description cannot be given in one or two tools. Just what I'm saying, starting a project at initial stage, it depends on your guts, your personality, your open approach, and your conventional and coordination approach. Once you start mobilization, for which you have to prepare a lot. Prepare in a sense that particular preparation, once you study that. If you see standards of documents, you will find difference in our nation document and West European document. Now, documents related to your projects must be well understood. Understanding clarifications, you can't get clarification at time of contract already done. We have to comprehend these documents. Suppose this testing material is required, testing machine is required, and site laboratory. Well, once you know what to do, what about site, you have to go yourself to see. Don't just think that others would get you correct information. Mobilization to demobilization is preservation or energy. If you can understand this gap of mobilization and demobilization, I think a new project. Well, I would not say that you are not clear about all this. I say a systematic approach should be adopted. Good morning, Mr. Najirul Khan. Thank you very much for joining. One has to go to site plot, to understand existing status of that. And that gives some real information rather than depending on procuring information through others. Because this is not design stage, this is not architectural stage. You have to carry it out. So you have to know everything about that site. And not only that, how to use it, how to use this site for local procurement, local handling. That's very important point. You have to mobilize. Generally, 1 month is, even for mobilization, is quite good period. If you are a smart organization, then that's very important point. Smart organization. What is a smart organization? We say these days smart is very common word, and let's use smart is used smartly. Smart is used smartly. Okay, there is no set definition, there is no set, full, you can say full form. If you say smart, we consider it just like in English. But you can chart out meaning yourself. S stands for system, like that. M may stand for management, or man, or no. A stands for approach, or can stand for review, or relations. T stand for takeaway. You can say whatever. Means actually there should be complete system management, relations, acquisition. Whatever you say is done, but effect is that it should be in reality, not in just imagination. Reality is very important. Physical reality. See, if from imagination or from document provisions, we're transforming that to physical existence. That's the difference. This is long journey. It's not hourly work. It's long journey. Project may be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, long duration. It's not 24 hours journey. You have to travel. You have to travel. And that travel is time consuming. Don't worry. As much time you have, you are lucky. Because you have time to think. Time to think. Don't earn panic. Don't, allow panic. Yes, there shall be panic. Yes, it nerves. But here your time. It's not just 2-3 hours examination. Do you have to answer all questions? No. On projects, you can find time to read. If you are if you are waster, so I cannot say. Because remember, in our triangular criteria, time is also very important, just like quality and costs are. And this time is very big factor. There may be you think that I have 2 years to deliver, no problem, I can deliver. You may say that, but you have to make yourself suitable, competent for that. Simply saying is not enough. Saying is not enough. I'm feeling a little cold. Think. Simply saying is not enough. Simply saying is not enough. Doing is enough. How to do it, that's your choice, how to do it. But you have to do it, You cannot come out of that. Yes, you will have your senior support, you will have everything. I'm not saying that you are exclusively independent, but they too are dependent on you. They expect you to deliver because you are having a responsible position. when you join a project, take charge, it's assumed that either you know everything about that project or you will get it. It both are same. If you know everything about the project, you'll get a little benefit if you save time. And if you do not know at that time, then you have to know it. That's it. You have to know it. And it takes, of course, some times to go through contract specifications, documents. It's not 1 hour job. Of course, you have to go. And I'm not saying you go each comma, each full stop. No, not necessary. English language is not that important as apprehension, comprehension of contract. You may read in English, of course, no problem. Is this only for reading? By using, you can translate into your own language, your mind, and then use it, understand it. Nobody stops you. But I am stressing on this because it impacts the habit. If you adopt and have, I least bother about documents. I am a practical person. I'll do it. To be very frank, every contract is easy, very easy. It's not, very easy English. Only set words are used, and it's not complicated to English or something or literature of English. It is simply written in easiest way. I cannot compete with that. I had to compete with myself only. Competing yourself, something like that is very important. You mobilize, we used to say in contracting, execution statement and method statements. Two items are there. Execution statement, just we say execution, whole execution. Means you have to chart out a document named by whatever title, but generally purpose execution statement. So that statement is included on your bid as well, which confirms that you are capable to do this job because you understand that scope of this contract. The scope of contract is very important, a significant part which forces you to do whatever is included within that scope of contract. Scope of contract is also very significant part of contract. Sometimes it's explicitly clear, with division of responsibilities marked. Sometimes it's little ambiguous. But don't depend on that. Scope of work and contact is a chapter. So when you say execution statement, the scope of work should be understood prior to making execution statement. Sometimes it's very clearly given and sometimes a long list is there. That long list sometimes clear scope should be clearly and explicitly understood. So you can't change it, no way, you cannot. But you have to do it, even it's covered by price or not. You can't help it. Thus, you have agreed on to that. Your bosses, try to enter that. Understanding the scope is very easy. You chart out that or see where it is. And you have to ask question yourself. Have you undertaken that activity before? What do you want to do from and what do you want through and what do you want to attend? That's execution. How to implement that? That's method. How to do, for example, the activity on train as a familiars. But yet, you have to move, you have to travel. And you should start when you understand. You see fences, barricades around you. Yes, never confuse yourself and never over consult. Never ever. Confusion is meaningless. No meaning. Actually, I'm finding it difficult. Confusion is no meaning. Mix up is no meaning. Clarity is very important. Clarity. Better if you cannot understand fully, you consult someone before doing something wrong. But I know that you're not alone. Your support of your seniors. So you won't make mistakes, certainly. But it's you who initiate all studies, has to acquire all information. It's not someone else. Only you. I think maybe you're feeling bored with my talk. Don't feel bored because it's reality of life. You know, engineering education is very overburdened, very busy, and there is no time to cover every engineering aspect, every field aspect. It's not possible. So even if you pass engineering, stop thinking that you have become an engineer. You are, yes, you are engineer by certificate, though it's not written on your certificate that you are engineer. Yeah, you passed graduation or bachelor of engineering. That's it. And same applies to masters and doctors. So actually speaking, you start engineering only when you come to project. And starting is always little troublesome, little turbulent job. I'm not joking at all. I just smile sometimes because of my own experience. I was beaten. I was professionally beaten and tormented by some people. Of course, it was my error as well, because education and fieldwork are different. In field, you have to move yourself, you have to collect information yourself. But that correction of information we should have. Remember, work is not physical. First of all, physical is a part of work. Work is mental. It's never physical. Work imports, supervises, maintains system. I'm talking very slow because you should be slow in work but fast in thinking. Your thinking should be fast so that you program into your mind when I have to prepare this detail and submit. And remember, your detail is your detail. I mean, whatever detail is available in documents, other than that, when it is further detailing, that's your baby. Cannot run away from that. Stretch again. But that's life, Sometime you have to be a little adjustable. Actually, heavy blanket on my legs due to cold. Relief, a little free at this moment. So I'll come back after that. I'll be free from this. Okay. So a little comfortable 5-10 minutes and then we'll see. I'm not doing many hours videos because of some restrictions and some signals problem. I'll resume all that later on. So I'm giving talks in patches. Please don't mind it. It's my problem. It's some kind of different problem that I have to do like that. Even that I have to be in touch with people so that as can deliver as much as possible from my mind. I can speak very fast today as well, but I want to keep it on low profiles. First of all, I'm not getting good responses from people. I don't know reason, or they don't want to care about their future. Unfortunate it is. A silent engineer is a dangerous person. Remember, engineer has to speak, has to write, has to think, has to dominate, has to deliver, has to command. And if you don't do that, I don't know on what basis you call yourself engineer. You have to define yourself. Nobody can define for yourself. If you think others will define you, no, nobody will define you. You think your boss will define you? No, not at all. You have to define yourself. And if you fail to define, means it is your failure. It's not somebody else's failure. Because you are project in charge or project assistant, whatever you, to some extent you are in charge. Even if you are not fully in charge, you are in charge of the discipline. So you are responsible. This point must be very clear to everyone. Engineering is not a game of love. It's not a game of football or cricket. It's a game of mind and physique. It's a game of performance by yourself. There is no director, no script writer. You are hero and director. So mind it. It's a mental game. Can you play with this? If you understand this, it's best for you. You or myself, whoever. You have to understand what's required. That's called analysis of assignment, analysis of project. This is your first job, analyze project. Analysis doesn't mean price analysis. Analysis means activities analysis, what you have to do, and those activities which are projected on planners, on schedules, maybe MS Project or Primavera, or whatever, or otherwise. You have to reflect those analysis based activities onto those planners, schedules. Then you have to analyze time limit. How much time do you have? How much net time do you have? And how can you assign timings to all those content activities so that your date of completion and date of handover are on same page and they talk together. Information handling is very important job in coordination. If you have information, it should not be information alone, it should be speaking information. It should tell on its own when it has to work, and you have to keep watch on that. You actually speak, but you should listen. Just roaming in darkness is no meaning. Blaming someone else is no meaning. Whatever documents you have, that's final. You cannot change it, so don't speak about that. Just do it. If there is something you can say incorrectly done, no problem. Try to do it correct. Your work should be correct. All these documents require results, and that results practical work. If practical work is done in compliance, all documents are fine. Yes, there are variations, we know. There are some points which may be adjusted practically. You can't change. There may be changes sometimes, changes in specifications or changes in drawings, designs, or changes in something that doesn't impact on price or cost of time or quality. Those can be agreed upon in terms of clarifications or in terms of whatever else documentation, which that may not impact commerce of your contract. So those can be recorded after these are agreed by all the contractor as well as by consultant and by employer. Those changes are very important also, because those changes are related to functioning or functional work to be done, work to act, to be delivered for certain function. That point should be very clearly understood. Some changes whatsoever are there, do appear, are there, cannot change something else. They must be there. And they should be recorded as approved red lines. Means there is something which changed, and generally that's recorded in red lines in all documentations, drawing, design, calculation, specification, or whatever agreed, not as claim but as record. I'm not talking of financial claims, I'm talking of records, whatever, without impacting on cost and time and quality. That changes are recorded in red, and then that red is transformed to record drawings or as-built drawings or as-built documents, which constitute parts of dossiers. Dossiers and complete records are handed over for purpose of future use, so that every information is ready about in terms of documentation of whatever contract or project. I'm giving a very brief means what's required. In when you complete a project means it's not physical project as well as finishings or compliance, but it should be supported by documents which were used for whatever project or used for, that must be complied with. It is complied and should be on record. That record is speaker for this project. I have done this. I will done like this. So that's very basics. Compliance means record is available, work is available, everything is available. There's nothing in compliance criteria which has been left with, and therefore you can say it's a perfect project delivery. Physical delivery, functional delivery, as well as documents or record delivery or dossiers, is all constitute part of quality system. Quality system, not quality control system, but quality system of organizational systems, organizational work. Means whatever you said, whatever you mandated, will do it. You have done it satisfactorily and accepted by other parties, whosoever. So it's different approach, completely different approach. Don't degrade yourself. You have to exist and survive in engineering construction field. Means you have to be very smart mentally. You have to be very smart dynamically. You have to be very smart in mind walking. You have to be very smart in communication. You have to be very smart in coordination. And everywhere you have to be smart, and smarter. Smart, smarter, smartest. Shall you be? If you concentrate on documents, believe me, just after doing one or two projects, you shall feel that, well, I mastered something. Provided you have a chance. Don't ask. Just read and do it. Until it doesn't contradict something, read and do it. Yes, clarification you can take. Doesn't matter. I'll show you later on some pages of clarifications, how these are done. Means, but point's not that. How much can you learn from that is the most important. You will learn a project is not going to change in future. What you learn shall be used repetitively. That earns you a confidence, a layer of confidence. Level of confidence is very important part in engineering, construction, and that confidence earning, that confidence building, capacity building, yourself building, your people's building, all do value. So don't be in panic all time. Panic is important. Panic, I mean to say, confidence. You have panic because you have confidence. Something can go wrong. This is different kind of panic. You know what is to be done. But because you are not doing that, somebody else is doing that. You may be supervising maximum. Or maybe somebody else is doing that. And you can't be available at all locations, all times. That's not possible. So, state of being nervous is also very important, momentarily, not all times. In that state of mind, You concentrate on something to solve it. Certainly you will. And once you solve it, that nervousness shall go, and another nerve will come because you are a serious person. You cannot take everything diplomatically or digest it. There's nothing to digest in construction. But once it is done, it's done. Can't change. It's not like something else. Oh, I can amend it now. Once you do something wrong, there is no way that you can recover that. This is permanent construction. It's not temporary. So it's much more significant in that case. So we have to be very clear about this. Don't panic, but harm panic and use panic. Use panic. Don't be in panic. And if you can use panic, you are best engineer. Because you are going to solve the problem which is panic. That brought panic to you. You are going to solve that. That's a very important point. Engineering. Some people take state of panic or nervous negatively, but I take it positively because I have to be in panic to ensure that nobody makes mistake. Hundreds of people work, not one or two, hundreds or thousands will work, and many juniors work, foremen work, and all. There's every chance that things go wrong, activities go wrong, follow-up go wrong, and that certainly gives you panic until you have momentarily information all the time. It's not possible. That's not possible. Accidents can happen. People can die. So certainly you have to be in panic. Even though everything is fine, you cannot go to every prop or every stand to see something is okay or not. It takes something means you don't have that capacity to make sure everything is okay. You depend on others to make sure that it's still okay. And that's where problem lies in. You can control yourself. Absolute control. You cannot conduct others. Yes, when you talk to them, you see them, they will be fine. But there can be little lapse. That's why panic is important. Well, I'm not in panic momently, but it's life. So my dear, have patience and have restlessness. Restlessness always. If you rest means you can never rest in fact. Because always there is something that invites your attention. Well, I have not seen any project that is very, very peaceful, except some projects sometimes, where some important agent sits and looks after everything. Otherwise, always you have to face problems. You may be senior or what, but something is not available, something is available. After all, you are arranging A to Z, so there can be crippleable letters from A to Z. Something cripples, or something intends to cripple. That's in that situation invites. I'm saying. So I will not speak much on this. Just as you can say, a tentative talk. It was just an ordinary talk I made today, and I'll take up. It's early morning, so I didn't want to take long. Today's festival as well. Maybe most of sleeping, except few. So I say, be calm, but be smart. Be active, but be realistic. Don't do anything until you understand that yourself. Sometime misunderstanding also affects project. Sometime, ignorance in project makes a problem. So that way we have to think and understand. Everything is not possible in life. It's also true that everything is also possible in life. Everything cannot be done. It's also true. Everything can be done. It's engineering. Engineering means problem solution. You cannot say it cannot be done. Yes, it cannot be done this way, but it can be in some other way. That's what's required. Okay, not done this way, I'll do that way. Do it. Just do it. Don't wait. So, my short talk today is for inducement. You have to be smart. Engineers should be smart in mind. Whatever dress you put, I'm not talking of dress. I'm not talking of your car. I'm not talking of your room. I'm talking of your mind. Because you are smart by mind. You must be and you be. Even if you are not, you have to convert. Mind. Because your work is mind. Your work is not a brick or concrete. Your work is mind. Mind for others. Your mind tells others what to do. And their mind does it. Their minds do it. Their minds do it. That's my approach. Completely different type of approach. That should be. So when you take project, be happy, but be serious. Happiness is expression only, but your happiness involves responsibility, obligation, liability, and risk. So you have to solve all. You are supposed to solve all this. When you solve this, solve your life problems, your professional life problems. And if you cannot solve them, you don't care for them as if these are automatically solved, or somebody who can help you. No, nobody will help you. Self-help is best help. Is philosophy or no philosophy, it's different. Certainly, it's to be considered by everybody. It's to be considered. It's to be done. That's by everybody. Because I'm going to close this video now soon, I would simply say again and again, I would repeat same: care about document, care about document, care about document, not physical care, mental care. Read, 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 analyze, 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 understand, 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 apply, 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 or act, act, and act. Do not run fast to do something which you are not clear about. Do not jump on activities. Try to understand your own way, how it can be affected with. It's your point of view. Important one. Something done is wrong is wrong. Simple. Something done right is right. So I close it. Thank you very much. I'll take another video maybe today again. Thanks till that time.